Hey everyone, it's TJ. I just got done a little while ago with a little bit of a treadmill walk, and I'm trying to bump up my exercise a little bit, my movement. I don't like to say the word exercise, but I don't know if any of y'all around my age remember Jack LaLanne, but I've kind of gotten into watching some of his old shows that he used to put out back in the, I guess, 60s on. I don't know when they started, but anyway, he's really inspired me because a lot of the exercises he does are very simple and easy to do. You know, the only equipment I've seen him use so far is just a chair and his body. So if you can't do, this is me talking to myself, if you can't do that, you're pretty pathetic, girl. So I'm talking to myself. So anyway, my daughter and I have dusted off the treadmill, and we've decided to kick our body movement up a notch. And she does her own things, and you know, of course, like I say, I do what I call my work it in, work out, kind of do it here, there, and everywhere throughout the house. Just maybe I'll do a video on that. I don't know if that would be interesting to anyone, but I've shown bits and pieces of it in a past video or past videos. I'm not sure at this point, but it's like not a huge investment of my time doing any one exercise. So I'll talk about that another time, but as usual, this is going to be a little bit of a this and that kind of video, because tonight, this is Saturday evening right now. I'm in the middle of doing stuff, and like I say, the frizz is frizzing, and I like the color it brought to my cheeks, y'all. No blush. Anyway, so I'm just gonna take little snippets throughout this weekend, and that'll be my Monday video. So just a little bit of weekend in the life kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see. Hope y'all enjoy. Have a great Saturday night, y'all. Out running errands with my daughter. Well, we're just going along for the ride. You can hear someone panting. It's hot. It's so hot here. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I just wanted to check in. This is one of the few times I get out of the house. That sounds so sad, doesn't it? I mean, luckily I'm a homebody, so, you know, it for the most part doesn't bother me, but I just thought I would film proof of myself getting out of the house for a few minutes. Alrighty, let's see what we can be up to next. On Sundays I do try to do a little food prep more than usual. I mean, I'll bulk cook, so that's kind of food prep in a way, because it's like I can eat once on it, and you know, have food for the next few days or whatever, depending on what I'm making. But I am trying to reel in my eating again. I think the heat, I hate to always complain about the heat, but I'm a wilting flower. I'm a delicate flower. I just don't do well in this heat, and I never have, and the humidity. So this is kind of my slow time of year. This is when I have summer seasonal affective disorder, I guess, if you want to call it that. So I've just, you know, I feel like I'm doing good to do anything some days. So not to sound depressing, but I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, but I just go a little slower, and I'm trying to find easy ways to watch my weight, because my weight kind of fluctuates up and down, you know, a pound or two, but I gotta be careful. Taking pictures. I'm taking pictures of you and your pretty hairdo and your cute eyeglasses, because I don't get out much. I'm taking
scrapbook.
Yeah, a visual scrapbook of. Hey everyone, it's TJ, and I am in the middle of making, well, kind of planning my meals. I don't like to say a meal. I guess I am meal planning, but the thing is, excuse me, I'm going to switch this camera to another hand, hopefully without too much of an earthquake going on. I've mentioned before, my husband and I eat very differently, and I mean, I wish he would eat better, but you know, he's a grown man. He can do what he wants to do. So we eat very differently. So I know I was just in the kitchen, excuse me, looking in the fridge and pantry to kind of just get ideas of things I can make with what I already have on hand, because you know, I think I already said it when I was looking in the fridge that it's easy for me to overlook stuff and tend to want to do things that are easier, more convenient. Not that I eat convenience foods a lot, but just, you know, there are some things easier to cook or put together than others. And lately I've been in a sandwich jag, or whatever you want to call it. Like I just want to eat sandwiches lately. It's I don't have to heat anything up. It's cool. You know, pretty much right now the only thing I'm using the stove for is to cook my dog's food and just things that need to be cooked. But I bulk cook, which I've mentioned that before too, to just knock out enough food that I can use in different recipes. You know, for instance, a pot of beans, a pot of boiled eggs that can be used in different ways. So I wanted to, I'm wanting to make myself use some things we have on hand, and I'll show that here in just a little bit of the things I'm going to focus on. Now, being that I don't cook for my daughter, she's grown, she buys her own food, she, you know, she's responsible for herself. Not that I wouldn't let her eat stuff, you know, and she does, but as far as meals and cooking, I cook for myself. I buy, you know, and I cook for my husband whatever he has requested, and he has his snacks. He likes his snack. Well, I do too, let's be honest. But he is easier because he prefers convenience type foods, and I mean, that's not what I would choose. I mean, I've tried different ways to get him to eat more healthily, and you know, I'd rather just feed him what he wants to eat and will eat. Sounds like I'm talking about a child, huh? Than to, I mean, a lot of food was getting wasted because, and it's not that I can't cook, and it's not that he doesn't like my cooking. It's just that with what he's dealing with, he has different issues in regards to what he can eat physically and what he can't eat. So that's just a little disclaimer of, you know, I don't want it, when I say I'm going to make this for myself, or I'm eating this way, it's not that I'm excluding anyone. I wouldn't do that. I mean, but I kind of focus on things that I actually have to put together and cook. That's me, you know, I'm not big on heating up frozen foods and stuff, just not my thing. Although there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not what I prefer. I'm kind of spoiled to home cooking, you know. So anyway, I am making to make a long story short, I'm kind of getting ideas based on what I know needs to be used up. It's not bad, it just needs to be used up before it goes bad. And getting ideas to integrate with my my newfound motivation to eat better again. I've said this, I believe, already, that in the summer it takes a lot for me to want to do anything. It's not that I'm depressed, that's not it. It's just I'm like a sloth when it's hot, I just slow moving and all that. I don't have the energy or gumption to go the extra mile with anything, especially housework or cooking, things like that. So it is what it is, and so anyway, I was kind of going through my Bill Phillips Eating for Life cookbook to get some ideas. And here, let me switch this. And that's the book. There's I guess it can be considered a protein pancake recipe. It's something I've been wanting to try. I've never made it before, but I want to try eating that rather than regular pancakes, because although I like them and they're yummy, I want to do better. So that's that. And so I will take you to the kitchen and show you my little jaunt through my fridge and pantry and my little narration of what I'm planning to do with what. So, and it's not, what I was getting at is, between my husband and myself, I think I mentioned maybe 2 or 3 things that I'm planning on cooking this week, but that's how it is. I don't need 5 to 7 days worth of different meals and menus. I just don't. Like I say, I'm kind of on a sandwich jag, so I eat those for a quick meal, and just easy. But as far as thinking things through and actually making a recipe, and I mentioned in there baked potatoes. That's not really a recipe. It's just something I have to bake the potatoes. It's not just something I can pull out the bread and whatever and make a sandwich. It's going to take some forethought kind of thing. So, and the pancakes are going to take a little bit of forethought, so that's what I mean by that. Okay, so off to the kitchen we go. Okay, I am doing a little bit of inventory of things in our fridge and pantry to get some things I want to use because they need to be used. These potatoes we've had a while. I keep them in this little drawer so they don't sprouts or whatever. So I do have sour cream. Oops, I got cut off. I grow green onions in my little container garden, and we have butter. And we have shredded cheese. So potatoes, green onions, butter, and cheese. That's pretty much the way we always eat baked potatoes. Now, I don't know if I will eat that, but for myself, I might just bake the potatoes or peel and dice and boil them to make roast potatoes. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm doing this to get some ideas because I tend to overlook things. I want to go for the easy stuff to make because I'm just, you know, sometimes I just don't want to be cooking. So I'm going to move on. I also have this almond milk, and I need to use that. I want to use that probably in some sort of smoothie. I bought this. I was on a roll of eating cereal, like cold cereal, Rice Krispie type cereal, and shredded wheat, but then I got out of that. I mean, I eat in moods. So moving on. Again, I get on rolls of things. I was eating quite a bit of my Reese's peanut butter oatmeal that I've mentioned before, with the just oats and peanut butter, a little bit of sugar, water, and then I sprinkle it with chocolate chips, dark chocolate chips. And but I've kind of slowed down on that, and now I want to make a protein pancake out of oats and cottage cheese. I forget what else is in the recipe, but I want to try that. I'm trying to up my protein and still stay mostly plant-based, but it's one of those, you know, it's going to take a little work and balance, a balancing act. So and you can see my grains section and my big old pinto bean jar that I mentioned in one of my last videos. I really need to check those soups because I buy things thinking my husband might eat them, and then they don't get eaten. So, and that's kind of an example of something that, you know, I do need to go through here and check expiration dates. So that's on the to-do list at some point. I apologize, the lighting is not that great in my pantry. I have one overhead light in here. I just thought I would show the creamer I use in my coffee, that when I started eating more plant-based, I discovered this, and it comes in a box with three dealies of it. So that's what I use, and I just thought, you know, I would share. I started with the half and half. They have a half and half version, and I like that. And then my daughter, you know, it's a little pricier than what I was spending on cream, heavy whipping cream, which I got into when I used to drink black coffee. Here's a side note that doesn't really matter, probably no one's interested in. I used to drink black coffee, but then I had a surgery years and years ago, and because I was taking pain medication, and I'm not a big breakfast eater, I wanted something in my stomach to kind of buffer the pain medication, so I started drinking heavy cream in my coffee. But you know, you know how we evolve with our foods, or at least I do. So this is where I'm at now with the almond and coconut nut pod creamer. This is, excuse me, my plant. Oh, this is my canned food area, and I have, I am not the most neat and organized person in the world, y'all, so forgive my chaos. Anyway, a couple of cans of tuna, I've been eating this with cottage cheese. Like I said, I'm trying to up my protein. I feel like I got plenty of protein with eating mostly plants, but I don't know. Again, I mentioned that I feel I need to do a little better protein wise, and I started craving animal source of protein. Now if you see this, my daughter the other day, she says, "Oh, mama has Mama has yogurt in the pantry. Well, it's not. It's my peanut butter I buy that's just strictly nuts and I think a little salt in it. And I have to dump it out of the jar it comes in. I put it in something that'll hold it, and then I get a little mixer and mix it all up. It's just a lot easier for me to do that than stand there stirring and stirring and stirring. I just don't want to do that. So that's that. And I need to, this is some more stuff I need to go through and look at expiration dates. For instance, these water chestnuts. Do y'all do that? Do y'all buy stuff with something in mind, but then enough time goes by you forget what you bought something for? I'm real good at doing that. Anyway, so I need to check on that, and these, and anyway. So now I have a little idea of what I'm gonna be using this week for, meals and snacks, etc. And that's that. So, I also yesterday made some sugar-free Jell-O because of my sweet tooth, and also I'm the worst for wanting to eat at night. I don't know. I'm a mess dietary wise, y'all. I'm not highly disciplined, and but I'm trying. I'm giving it the old college try, as they say. So I have the sugar-free Jell-O for my late night sweet cravings, and I'm hoping that will do it. And I'm not gonna solely live on potato or anything like that. I'm not gonna live on just pancakes and potatoes. There's other things in there, but I was basically wanting to focus on, rather than just doing my usual of sandwiches for every meal. I could do that. I mean, I could eat a sandwich for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'd be a happy camper. But no, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to add protein pancakes and some sort of potato dish into my repertoire. So anyway, that's it. I'm not going to talk any longer and bore y'all. But I hope y'all have had a great weekend, and that you have a good week coming up. And don't work too hard if you work or have work ahead that you're looking forward to. Anyway, see y'all next time, and if you would please subscribe and maybe comment, just let me know you're out there. Is anybody out there? Just joking. I'm just a mess. I'm getting giddy because I'm starting to wind down and get a little tired, so it's what it is. I will see y'all next time. Thanks for stopping by.